Hi, welcome to Galaxy Gardens. We're here now to do part 2 of the planting video.
What you got there?
Beans.
Yeah, we got lots of beans. Lots and lots of beans. So Greg has some calypso beans and I have Jacob's cattle. So those are each gonna get their whole full bed to themselves. Now this isn't really popular among gardeners. Maybe it is, I don't know. But with beans, usually you want to space them out 6 to 8 inches. I always just put them really close together. So we're looking at like a 4 to 5 inch spacing. They'll grow up, they'll be fine. I think probably more like a 5-inch spacing between everything, and they'll come in. Just trying to make this year as easy as possible. So we have our big planting days, and then we'll have our big harvesting days, and that's exactly what I want. So what we're doing here is we have our rows, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 inches apart, and then our beds are 3 feet across. We're putting about 7 beans. What's 36 divided by 7? It's probably about 4.5 inches.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm just going through here, just poking a hole, clapping the bean in. I don't know if you can see it in there. Oh, covered it up. That's it. Beans do not have to be complicated. These should all be bush beans, at least that's what the packages say, so hoping this ends up getting real flush. Things sure move faster when you have someone helping you. So it's time to plant the sorghum. We're gonna put it in these 2 beds. We'll see how far we get. We might end up putting buckwheat in one of them. We're doing Mennonite sorghum. And Greg is over here finishing up planting our pole beans because I ran out of bush green beans, so all we have are pole. Well, we made a mess of everything, but all of these beds are officially fully planted. We have 2 beds of sorghum, drying beans, green beans, peppers, tomatoes, eggplant, potatoes, leeks, onions. Now over here, I gotta get to those and fit them into the extra spaces, but that's okay. So now I just gotta water, call it a day, eventually remake our tomato trellises, and then we're gonna call it and get some dinner. Tomorrow we'll plant the corn. If you've been following us on Instagram, you know one of our apple trees died, so let me show you what we did. We just went and ordered a new one. We originally wanted a gala, but we couldn't find any a couple of years ago when we were getting these in here. So when this one died, we got a buckeye gala. And this one got destroyed by a boring insect. And yes, I know it's trying to grow back. And essentially what happened was it got into here, and we noticed that it happened maybe a few months after we got this. I was like, I don't know what that is, but we'll see what happens. And it bored its way up. Essentially, hollowed it out. So it died. So, we have this beautiful root mass, but we're just gonna call it maybe not life harder this year. This is the top. I'll show you over here. It pretty much got to that point. Like hollowed it out to that point and then it snapped in a windstorm. So, and it's done. Everything else is doing good though. So we finally will come back to this tomorrow. We are back for part 2 of our part 2 planting series. You know how I said we were gonna have 4 major planting days for everything? Well, we would have if I gave full planting days. So the reason why all this is broken up is because we've maybe had like 1 or 2 hours to work with each day. If we had a full day, we would have gotten it done in a day. We're doing this during the work week and we work full time, so we're doing the best we can. So today, sunflowers and corn, that's my goal. It's supposed to rain in another hour, so we gotta hustle. I also cannot emphasize how tired I am because we have to do this and get the house sorted and the animals sorted because we are going out of town again. But we got our stuff, so let's get to it. Hello, girls. How are you? All right, so over here we're gonna be putting some California poppy, amaranth, and chickpea. Chicory. We're gonna be putting that all over here. We put some mammoth sunflowers behind the garden. Just did a couple rows. So all this gets its own spot here. And we're just gonna scatter sow it and see what happens. I actually changed my mind. So this is red garnet amaranth, which is supposed to get pretty big. So I made a little divot here and we're just gonna gently put it in. I'm gonna see if this comes up, and if it doesn't, I have more. So we'll see what happens. And this will water itself in. And it rains in another hour. All right, next up we have chicory, which I literally got because I saw it growing on the side of the highway and I looked it up and I was like, what's that cool flower? Turns out it's super cool, and we're gonna put it in here. I only have enough to probably do a row, but it's used to growing in not ideal conditions, so hopefully it comes up. Finally, we have our California poppy, which these seeds were given to me last year, and we're gonna put them in, and I have an extra packet as well as the ones we started. So let's see what comes up. Worst case, I'll just start some in pots and we'll transplant them. Well, I got a little sidetracked, as I tend to do, but looks like we have about 30 minutes left. So let's plant some corn. We have Floriana flake corn, which I think is an Italian variety. I don't remember, but putting it right there. We should have enough where we can do about half of each of these sections with corn. And then we're gonna do like buckwheat, squashes of varying varieties, and we'll see how they do over here. And hopefully everything comes up. You can see we have some not true fennel. It's, I believe, a German word, but it's more like the herb fennel. So you don't get your fennel bulb, but you get the tops. And it looks like they're perennials, which is pretty cool, but I'm gonna have to cut them back. I've just decided to leave them. We'll just grow around them, it's fine. So let's go. We have about 7 rows here, so we have room for the squash. I wanted to show you this beautiful, like, sunset red and orange color. Really excited to get some for the fall and mill it for grain. That'll be great. So I also like to plant my corn pretty close together, so let me distribute this and I'll show you what I mean. So this is what I mean when I say I plant them close together. I always plant 2 kernels per spot, so when they get bigger I'll thin them out. But all of these are about 5 to 6 inches apart from each other in all directions, and I do that every year. I'm not great at growing sweet corn. I'm not going to waste my time. All this is grain corn. Well, it is grain anyways, but we're using it for the purpose of milling. And that's what I've been doing the last 2 years, and it's worked out just fine for me and for how we grow. And we're only growing milling corn this year, so we'll have here, there, there, there. We have plenty, which will be great. And I have some extra left over, which is great, because also what I like to do is anywhere I get extra spots, especially as stuff grows in, maybe some things die, fill it in with corn. If you have your own property or not, maybe you're in an apartment and you want to get the most bang for your buck for what you're growing, grow corn. There's so many nutrients in there for so much less space that it takes up. Grow it. You will not regret it. Although, can't give you any tips for sweet corn, but we've had some good luck with flint corn, dent corn so far, and we're going to keep it up. All right, we got some buckwheat, rose red soba. So, let's see what this one looks like. Wow. Come here. Check that out. That's pretty cool. I was not expecting that. We're gonna plant as much of this as we can because we're really going on those good storage items this year. So let's dig it. Buckwheat and strawberry popcorn in. And I'm so delusional. I don't know if you can see down here. Sort of looks like less dark skies. So I'm gonna hope that means rain isn't right on top of me, but let's see. I'd say we're making pretty good time. 2 corn varieties to go. And then we gotta go grab our squashes and stuff because I didn't even bring those seeds out yet. This Oaxacan green dent corn is something I've been looking at for a few years now, but I never felt too strong in my corn growing abilities until last year. So, pretty excited to try it. Only got 40 seeds. I'm gonna treat this more as like building up my seed bank, but we'll also get to try it, which will be cool. As well as with the Floriana flint, just trying to get more so I have to buy less. And this one's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they are green, but there's also, I don't know how well that comes up on camera, but there's also some like hints of like blue and purple hues in there. It's almost like iridescent, like a beetle wing. That's awesome. Well, let's put it in. And then we just got that side to do, and maybe some squashes if I remember to go inside before it rains. But it does not look awesome. We got all our corn planted, and I have my partner here help me. We have to figure out what cucumbers, what summer squash, what pumpkins, and what watermelons we're gonna do this year, because they're going in between all this. We put our summer squash here, so we have like an X pattern of gray zucchini and striped squash. And over here, same thing. We have an X pattern of golden zucchini and coquezel, which is cool. And then over here, we have 2 little mounds. See how they do, of Waltham butternut and Table King bush acorn squash. So we'll see how they do over here. And then my lovely husband over there is taking our hoard of other pumpkin seeds and planting them in the compost.
So we don't actually have room for this. We kind of finished planting and there isn't really any other space. So I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to getting creative, but for tonight I think we're gonna end it now.
Yeah. No room for watermelon.
I mean, we should get creative, but we can deal with it next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, hi. What's up? The husband has gone inside the house, but what we're gonna do is finish throwing some flowers around and call it a day. If you remember the giant marigolds that we planted during the first year of our channel, actually, started that in August, they're already coming in. Collected a ton of seeds, just threw it all between here. Planted some butterfly pea flowers and that, and then just have some leftover nasturtiums I'm gonna throw around. We'll find spots. Everything looks super, super good. I'm very happy with it. I forgot my tripod again, but I wanted to say thank you for joining us for part two of planting out our garden. Now all of our direct sown stuff is in, except for some watermelons, but you know, when I was younger, I could grow pumpkins, cucumbers, and summer squash. And I got okay again at summer squash, but cucumbers and pumpkins and watermelon, I don't know. It's like the more I learned how to grow, the less able I am to grow like the stuff that's supposed to be simple. I don't know. Well, maybe they're not that simple, but we'll see this year what they do. Always trying new stuff, but everything else will be great. And we have more planting stuff coming for you on the way, so that'll be awesome. And if you want to follow us for updates in between all of our videos, go to the link in our description and you can follow us on all our various social medias. Especially go follow us on Facebook. We have a discussion group. I'd love to see your gardens. Otherwise, you can shoot us a message over on Instagram. I'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.